Welcome into another episode of Three's a Crowd. I'm Preston Vargas alongside Eli Atwood. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Our goal is to get to 200 subs by September 9th, the start of the NFL season. So do us a favor, hit that like button and subscribe. Let's get into this. So start off with Rory McIlroy in the Masters. His title defense is starting good after tied with the lead in round one at 5 under. Do you see Rory making it back-to-back Masters for him?
Yeah, I mean, it's always possible. Rory is one of the best currently tied. I think he tees off later today. So, the Masters is always kind of interesting because it's anybody's game, but he's got a good position right now.
Oh yeah, last year it was great to see him winning the Masters for the first time in his career, and right now looks like he is leading right now, tied with Sam Burns, who tees off at 12:32, which is less than 30 minutes from now. Rory should be teeing off in less than 2 hours from now at 1:44. So we'll see how he does there. But let me look at the live odds for the Masters, and we'll see who's potentially up there. Of course, the looks like Rory's favorite at plus 200. Second place, Sam Burns plus 900. He also got Schauffele and Scheffler up there. Patrick Reed, Justin Rose, who won. I think he won one of the signature events a couple weeks ago on the West Coast. But other than Rory, who are you looking at to potentially win the Masters?
I mean, Sam Burns is tied with. I guess that's the obvious choice there. But otherwise, we're just gonna have to see how it plays out.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see who's gonna what's gonna happen on moving day. Who's gonna make the cut? And let me take a look at notable players who are off the cut line in the World Golf Rankings top 10. Um, Here we go. I have it up here right now. So it looks like the first, let's see what the cut line is. It is um at +3. So looks like JJ Spawn, who won last week, is at +5, and then Robert McIntyre, who's even par right now, through six. We'll see if he can make up the ground he needs. Apparently, he flipped off the green yesterday because he had a bad round.
Uh,
But JJ Spawn, he's +3 through five today, so it doesn't look good for him. So we'll see what happens throughout the rest of the Masters.
yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Moving
Mm.
over to the NBA, Joel Embiid undergoes an appendectomy as the 76ers fall to the Rockets 113 to 102. How does this affect the Sixers here as they're fighting for these playoff spots?
It's just brutal. I mean, you were in the top six throughout the season now. Looking at they've lost three straight games, in addition to losing uh, Joel Embiid potentially for the rest of the season. Even though they lost to the Pistons, Spurs, and Rockets, they have a tough schedule down the stretch. They do play uh, Indiana and Milwaukee to finish out, so we'll see if they can get two wins there. But it's just brutal at this point of the season for Joel Embiid. I mean, you go back to what happened with the Bell's palsy in 2021, where I think half his face was paralyzed, if I'm not
Yeah, something
mistaken.
like that.
And then all the injuries he's had to deal with throughout the past couple of years, and he missed some time with that knee injury as well. But Joel Embiid's probably one of the unluckiest players in the NBA right now.
Yeah, he's always getting injured or something of that liking, so definitely stays that way.
But in addition to the other team, the Sixers played against the Houston Rockets, winners of their last 9 games so far. With the Luka-less Warriors, they're tied with them right now. Or excuse me, Luka-less Lakers, I should say. No Luka, no Austin Reeves. Uh, and the Rockets in their last 2 games, they play Minnesota and they play Memphis. Do you think Houston can catch the Lakers or the Nuggets for the 3 seed right now?
And the Lakers have kind of been falling. We'll have to see. There's just not a lot of time left, so they're gonna have to make every game count here.
Oh, it looks like the Nuggets are another team that's won 10 straight games. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I mean, Denver's coming on at the right time in terms of the playoffs right now. It's going to be a great race there.
And moving on, we've got, as I mentioned, playoffs coming up
Hmm.
in the East. It's a bit of a crowded field. Who's going to make that out of the Raptors, Hawks, Magic, 76ers, and Hornets?
I'm right now, I would say, looking at in terms of their records the past 10 games, I think Charlotte's too far down right now with 2 games to go. But the Magic have won 4 straight games. I could see them possibly making it. The Hawks got themselves back into this race after losing their last 2 games I think they lost to the Celtics and well, they lost to the Knicks and the Cavs. They play the Cavs again on tonight. Then they've had the Heat to end the regular season. So I think that the Cavs game's at home this time instead of in Cleveland like it was the other night. But if I were to say, I would say probably this is a tough one because Toronto's also won their last 2, but they have the New York Knicks on the schedule. They're still trying to vie for a 2 seed and avoid playing either Detroit or Boston. But I think this is a tough one because if Toronto wins, I would say them. But if the Cavs keep fighting, my teams, I would say I'd give it to the Magic first and foremost. Then the other team, I'm gonna have to say the Hawks. I think those 2 teams will get or I think the Magic will get the 6 seed. The Hawks will get the 5, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd say that just about makes sense to me also, hopefully the Magic are able to move up here, going on a win streak after that huge loss streak. So
Oh yeah,
definitely a streaky team and just gotta hope that they're hot going into the playoffs.
we play the Bulls tonight, and we're a favorite by 15 and a half points. We better not lose that game.
Yeah, I don't know. I might take that spread, but at the same time, I think the Magic will be able to get the win, hopefully.
And though the Bulls have won their last 2 games, although they was both against Washington, so you can't really count
Yeah,
that. But let's see, they before that they lost their last 6 games, so they're clearly tanking for to get a better lottery pick at this point of the season. Then we end with the Magic, or we end with the Celtics on the road. And I think the Bulls game tonight's going to be on over the air TV, so we'll have the double box in for for the Magic game and for the Storm game tonight.
that would be good. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then we'll move on to a team that's not in the playoff conversation. In fact, they're far from eliminated from the playoffs. We'll talk about the Milwaukee Bucks here. The Giannis Antetokounmpo, he is ruled out for the final home game in Milwaukee this season. He said he wanted to play with his brothers, Thanasis, and I forget his other brother's name, Alex, I think.
Alex, yeah.
Alex Anthanasis one last time in Milwaukee, where he's played the past 13 years, and the Bucks apparently denied him. And how crazy has this Giannis situation been for the last couple months?
Yeah, I mean, just the way that they've been treating him, seemingly he's not as injured as they seem to claim he is. And, for a guy who's one of your franchise all-time greats to be treating him this way is pretty disrespectful. You got to feel bad for the fans in this situation as well as Giannis.
Absolutely, I have to agree with you there. I mean, if Giannis says he's ready, he wants to play, and this game doesn't mean anything. Just to give the fans one last time seeing him in a Milwaukee Bucks uniform, probably. But this is on ownership, to be honest. If you don't let your star player who's been around for 13 years won a title with you, the fans love Giannis. And in my opinion, this is
Yeah.
worse than the Magic and the whole Dwight Mayer situation back 15 years ago.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, Giannis has, I mean, been on the team for over a decade, like you said, and he's been loyal to the team in other situations where other people maybe thought that he would have left Milwaukee, but he stayed with it.
And he apparently wanted
And
to be traded last season.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you want to be traded last season, and it's a little bit disrespect for sure. But
Absolutely.
yeah, moving on, the UFL is expanding. Oklahoma City has
Hmm.
been announced for 2028. The team will be playing at a new multi-purpose stadium built in downtown Oklahoma City, so that'll be interesting.
Hmm.
And I think this is a good move. What do you think, Preston?
Great move for the UFL. Finally getting a plan to get more teams in the league. You'll expand to 10, I assume. Uh, Oklahoma City would be the ninth team in the league. Expand for 2028, that's when their stadium will be ready. And apparently it's they're going to share it with the soccer team in the USL. Well, apparently hasn't fielded a team since 2022 because they don't have a stadium in
Hmm.
their area currently. But
Gotcha.
I think this is a good move to get into the Oklahoma market here. I mean, you got a brand new stadium downtown Oklahoma City. I think the capacity is going to be 10,000 fans, if I'm not mistaken, which is the perfect capacity for a UFL team. I think they could easily sell that venue out. And in terms of where they should expand next, I'll give it to you first. Where do you think they should expand after Oklahoma City to make it 10?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some other options. And the thing for me is I feel like the most obvious of the options are places that the UFL has already been.
Hmm.
So it'll be interesting. I mean, I think maybe continuing with that like kind of Texas, Oklahoma area could be a smart move. Maybe they
Hmm.
go back to San Antonio. I mean, they've been there before, Austin potentially, but we'll have to see.
I mean, Austin and San Antonio are good options. I would lean toward Austin because they have an MLS stadium, and I think it's growing. It might be passing San Antonio for in terms of area's population. But if I were to go to a new market, let's take a look at the St. Louis Battlehawks, for example. An NFL team leaving and the fans angry. You know where you have that? San Diego. They got a new stadium there in Snapdragon Stadium. Even though it's a 30,000 capacity stadium, you'll still have fans who are angry that the Chargers left. You could fill the professional football void there. I think the San Diego Fleet, when they had that in the AF, did okay in that old crappy stadium, Qualcomm Stadium, I think it was at the time. But I think San Diego is a definitely a good option for them.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a good choice, but maybe a little farther down the line as they continue to expand west. It's pretty heavily saturated in the East right now, so it might be a little tough to get teams across, and it's gonna be a bit of an unfair disadvantage for San Diego at first.
I mean, you could have if you want to go West Coast, expand to 12, maybe Seattle is another option with with the Sea Dragons, but or you can even go to Las Vegas, but I don't know how saturated that market is already with the Raiders there.
Yeah, maybe they kind of bounce over that way, hit Albuquerque, Salt Lake on the way over, but
Salt
there's
Lake's
definitely a
another
few
good one
options.
with no NFL team
Yeah,
in the area. In
yeah,
Albuquerque
exactly. A
too.
team that has had sports and Albuquerque, a city with no sports that, might be looking for a team.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're a large enough city, isolated enough to be a viable professional market,
Yeah, I'd say so.
but I don't think they go back to Memphis, that's for sure.
Yeah, the Memphis experiment was a failure.
Hmm.
Definitely don't think that'll be happening again.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then we move on to the teams that we do have. They play this weekend in week three. I don't know why I wrote week two in the rundown, but it is week three. We'll start off with the game of the night. It's Storm game day, so of course the Orlando Storm take on the Louisville Kings in a rematch of last week. How do you think this will go for the Storm this weekend?
Yeah, I'm hoping for our first road victory here. Started off the season 2-0. Hopefully we can expand that to three.
Hmm.
Obviously, we beat Louisville already once. We'll see if they're able to get back to us here at home. How much of this home field advantage is going to help them out, we'll have to see.
And like you said, this is our first time on the road, so we'll see how that impacts us. But I would have to say the keys to victory here is for Jack Plummer to not turn the ball over and not let Louisville into the game. Their offense hasn't been that good this season, Their defense is surprisingly good, but their offense just can't score enough points to keep them in. They should have won week one against Birmingham, but they ended up losing that one, excuse me, because of they couldn't score enough points. And that's going to be the key for Louisville. Can we did keep them out of the end zone in the first matchup when they came to Orlando last weekend. Can we do it again? They only scored field goals and only 9 points so far. And can Jack Plummer uh, keep the football and not turn it over? There are a lot of offensive things to fix. I think we should rely on the run game more, which seemed to work in week one when we beat Columbia.
Yeah, I think last week the run was getting stuffed a little bit, so they're forcing the throw. And Jack Palmer under pressure is not the greatest. I mean, he can have some throws here and there, but it's definitely a risk.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. What's your score prediction for tonight?
Yeah, hopefully Orlando gets the win. Probably like a 18-12 victory or something low scoring like that.
18-12. I would say I'll give them 17-6. I would say Orlando wins. And then for the only game on Saturday, it's the Houston Gamblers and DC Defenders both getting wins last week for the first time. What do you expect from this one?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. Two of the better teams here last week, they both look pretty good. So I assume this is at DC, so that's always a good
Yes.
fan base.
The
See what
DC home
they're able to
opener.
do. Yep.
Last Friday, we saw DC really come into their own. They scored 44 on Columbus. I don't know if that's because Columbus has a bad defense, but it's good to see DC getting back into it. I mean, they were the defending champions last year. They're showing why they are with 44 points scored on them. And for Houston, that last week they got their first win over a come from behind win over the Birmingham Stallions on Easter Sunday. I mean, I would have to give this one to DC at home in their home opener.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Columbus taking on Dallas. Obviously, we talked about Columbus. Their 0-2 start to the season didn't look good for them in their home opener. And then the Dallas Renegades, they beat St. Louis 31-15. Let me take a look at how Austin Reed did. So the box score, Austin Reed had 240 yards, four touchdowns. He's looking like an early MVP candidate for the UFL to start the season. And I think this spells bad news for Columbus. I think they lose this one.
Yeah, I think so too.
Then the final game, arguably the game of the week, maybe, as the Birmingham Stallions take on the St. Louis Battlehawks. Another game at the Battle Dome. Both teams losers in week two to both to the Texas teams. What's the key for both these teams to potentially bounce back?
Yeah, you gotta lean in on your fan base and do lean into your strengths and have the fan base stick behind you with the loud crowd. So let's see.
The crowd is going to be a big factor. In my opinion, St. Louis did not look good when I saw them play Tuesday night. Let me take a look at how their quarterback did. 186 yards passing for Silvers, one touchdown. You can only get 16 yards on the ground if you're St. Louis, and then Birmingham, despite the loss, Matt Corral 226 yards. I think the key is going to be the connection for Matt Corral and John Ross. If they can get that connection going, I think it spells bad news for St. Louis. But I'm going to give the win to Birmingham by a field goal.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment going into this game. We'll have to see where it goes though.
Oh, yes, another action, another good football weekend coming up. Let's take a look at other headlines. Xander Bogaerts of the Padres hit a walk-off grand slam as they beat the Rockies last night. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's good grand slam, and it puts the Padres over 500 for the first time this season. So moving in
Oh,
the right
yeah,
direction.
definitely moving in the right direction. And the Colts are looking to trade away. cornerback Kenny Moore the second. What do you think would be a good landing spot for him?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of an interesting player to be trading away, but we'll have to see. And it needs to maybe go to a team who's contending. He's a little older, right? I mean,
Yeah. Actually, let me check how old he is
yeah,
real
he's
quick.
30, so I guess
30.
he's, still in his prime potentially.
Yeah, you
So,
could get a good second, third round pick from him.
yeah, depends how teams value him, but I definitely think you could get at least a mid-round pick.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. And then we have the Heat waving Terry Rozier. I mean, did you know he was still on the team?
Honestly, I didn't. I'm kind of surprised this didn't happen earlier.
Especially
So,
after what happened after the first game.
yeah.
I mean, good for them to waive him. He's definitely not playing in the NBA again, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think he's done in that status, hitting his own under. So,
We'll see the whole legal troubles if that could get resolved. And then Denver upsets Michigan in double overtime last night in the Frozen Four. They'll face Wisconsin in the college hockey championships on Saturday. Who do you think wins that game, Denver or Wisconsin?
I think Denver is kind of like the number one hockey team usually, right? So I'll
They're
take
usually up
Denver
there.
here.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I think Denver is going to win. And then Las Vegas Aces agreed to a 1-year, $1.19 million deal with Jackie Young, the first $1 million deal in WNBA history under the new CBA. Is
Hmm.
this a sign that the league is growing?
Yeah, it's definitely starting to get there, and I think a $1.2 million salary is definitely enough for players to be able to pay all of their needs for in terms of
Mhm.
like their professional care as well as still being able to take some money for their savings. So I think
Yeah,
this is good for the players in the league.
they don't have to go overseas, really.
Exactly.
And then talking about MLS here, FC Cincinnati is looking at a move for Neymar. Do you think that's a good
Hmm.
move for them?
Yeah, I mean, that'd definitely be an interesting move and bring some attention to the team, similar to Miami. And it's one of those things where it could work out long term for more of like a marketing play, I guess, for the team. But Neymar is always hurt and hasn't been quite himself the past few years. So we'll see how that works out.
And MLS has a reputation as a retirement league. Obviously, you have Messi here.
It's
Son
true.
Heung-min is in LA. I think Marco Royce is in LA with the Galaxy. And then you have Antoine Griezmann coming to Orlando to play for Orlando City. Obviously, you had Kaká years ago playing for Orlando. So
Yeah,
I think this will definitely bring a lot of attention to MLS in terms of because I would say these are the players that really grew up watching for a lot of fans over in Europe in the mid 2010s.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, Suarez also, that's another one. He's in
He's
MLS,
in
right?
Miami as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. And then we go to what we're watching for this week, and we'll start off with you, Eli. What are you watching for?
I'm watching for the Magic at Celtics to finish the year off on national television, ESPN, this Sunday at 6 p.m. Definitely going to try to watch that one if I can. I'm not sure I will, but definitely something I'm going to want to be at least tracking and paying attention to.
Oh yeah, that's a game that we will. Well, on Sunday we're gonna stream all the Sunday games for NBA. Do like a NFL red zone type of thing since everybody's playing at the same time anyway. Of course, the Eastern Conference plays at 6, the Western Conference plays at 8:30, so that would be perfect to see who's going to play who. And then what I'm watching for this week is a game that we'll be streaming on Saturday night. It's going to be the Texas Rangers and Los Angeles Dodgers. They start a 3-game series that begins tonight. And surprisingly, the looking at the Rangers, they recently swept Seattle, and even though they got swept by the Reds, they let me see, they won 2 out of 3 against the Phillies, won 2 out of 3 against the Baltimore Orioles, and they lead the AL West right now. Even though we're about 12 games into the season, I think this is a good test for the Rangers to see if they can really contend with. And this team did win the World Series in 2023, so we'll see how they can rebound from that, even though they have had the best 2 seasons. And technically, these are the last two World Series champions playing against each other, if you want to look at it that.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
But anyways, that's gonna do it for today's episode. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We'll be back for another episode again on Monday, and we'll be streaming live tonight as the Orlando Storm take on the Louisville Kings. And Eli, you're still coming over, right?
I'm gonna try to. We'll see. I'd
Okay.
say I should be there. I'd say like 80% chance I'll be there.
All right. We'll see you there tonight as we'll both be streaming that game together. And we'll be back for another episode on Monday. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great evening, and we'll see you again next time.